Hey everybody, welcome to Gear Wire, our show about all things gear, and I'm your host Justin.
I'm Luis.
And we have a very special new co-host that'll be joining us here today. This is our buddy Myles. He's one of the guitar merchandisers for zZounds.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, what's up, Myles?
Welcome
Thanks.
aboard, man. Great having you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, dude, thanks for coming on, man. Before we get there, we got a really awesome show. We're going to be talking about a Focal headphone giveaway, and we also have a special guest from Paul Reed Smith Guitars, Alex Chadwick. He's going to be talking about a new PRS NF3 guitar, as well as a jam that we filmed last week. So it's going to be awesome. Stay tuned later to check that out. But yeah, let's dive in, Myles. I know you got some special stuff here to talk about with us, I should say.
Yep.
So go nuts, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got ENGL Amps in the zZounds catalog now, so that's
Sick.
super exciting.
Sick.
These are amps that are made in Germany, and they've got a really great artist list like Richie Blackmore and Steve Morse. One of the things I'm really excited about for having this amp brand in our catalog is that they've got all tube amps for a variety of customers, right? So
Sure.
You've got a lineup for home recording and things like that, and you've got straight plug and play amps. So
Sick.
Yeah, it's super exciting to have them on board.
Yeah, man, I know. That's one of those brands like where when you see the name come up as a new product for us, you're like, oh, yeah, this is great. Like, I know that's been a boutique brand for forever. And,
Yeah.
I do like to play high gain amps. I know, Luis, you're just starting out playing guitar as well.
Yeah.
I know you're going to be a shredder soon, though. So
Yeah.
you'll be playing ENGL amps one day
I'll
soon,
get
right?
there. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Myles, do you play ENGL or anything like that?
I have played ENGL amps, and they're great for rock and metal. And to that point, one of the things that makes them really great for rock and metal is how mid-range focused they are. One of the standout features of those amps is that the mid-range control is so in depth. So when you're playing rock and metal, you know how it's so important to get that really good mid-range so that you can really have a presence in those genres that it's speaking to. So amps like the Fireball from ENGL, or the signature amps like the Steve Morse amp, those have a really tight focus on mid-range carving so that you can really get those good rock and metal tones.
For sure, right? Yeah, you don't want to just like scoop all the mids out and just call it a day. Yeah, dialing in the mids I feel like is important. So what kind of features do they have for the mid controls? Is it like a high mid, low mid or something like that? Or?
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also a mid kick. So if you want to kick in more mid from a single control, you can do that too to make it really easy to sort of get that sort of presence in there.
Oh, it's like foot switchable control?
I believe so. Yeah, so
man.
you should. Yeah, so that's a really easy way to be able to do that with those amps, and so that's a really cool thing that they're really focusing on those amps that makes me personally excited about having that brand in our catalog. And I know our customers will too. So
For sure.
You mentioned the home recording, audience for that, because that'd probably be like something in the future where I'd be more interested in. Like, what am I looking at in terms of a model for that?
Yeah, so I would say the Iron Ball or the Savage models. So they have cab IRs to where you don't need a separate cabinet, a speaker cabinet to sort of run the amp. You can hook it up to a computer, and you can use cabinet software to get your cabinet sound without having to use a cabinet. So really great, when it's already hooked up to your computer or your interface, you can just kind of record straight in with really good ENGL cabinet sound. So so it just makes it really easy. And with it being an all tube amp, you get that tube sound and that tube quality for home recording. So that's a really cool feature, for an amp brand like this that's so rock and metal, with its origins from the 80s, sort of stepping into that digital world to bring that to home recording. So that's really cool.
Yeah, honestly, like I'll take all of that stuff, because like I also have a bunch of just tube amps and a bunch of other preamps and stuff like that. But it's like when you just get to record an amp direct in like that with cab IRs and stuff, it's just so satisfying, because I could just do it like in the middle of the night if I want to, So again, I always say this, like I feel like every show now, but my neighbor loves that I have stuff like that, because I just piss her off.
Neighbor, come on the show.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You're a lovely woman, but I don't think you like my guitar playing all the time. So so that's an awesome feature to have on that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the power soak stuff on the ENGL amps is really cool for that.
Yeah.
Just to retain that kick you get from pushing it really hard, but at lower volumes, so that you don't lose any of that tone that you achieve at those higher volumes is really cool.
Hell yeah. So you said that was Iron Ball and Savage models?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. And what was the ones that didn't have that feature? Like just a regular.
Yeah,
tube amp?
so your straight plug and play amps, that'd be like the Fireball, the Steve Morse model.
Okay.
And the Blackout model, I believe, as well.
Cool.
They're just more of your traditional straight plug and plays.
Cool. And there's like a bunch of different wattage levels, right, that you can get. I know that there's probably like, 20 to 100 or something like that they're rocking right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
100 down to 25. And then the 25 watt models, you can, with the power soak options, you can get it down to 1 watt, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's
sick.
Yeah.
I know.
What,
I gotta love that.
what like price range are we talking about with most of these?
They range from about 1,300 to up to $3,000 in our catalog.
Okay.
So good prices for the quality amp that it is. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, 1,300, like not bad for a tube amp right now with those kind of features. Like I'm into that. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Do we got payment plans on those?
We do, absolutely. Yeah, you can make it yours sooner with our payment plans, and yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Okay. That's awesome. God, you got any other questions, Luis? I feel like
I got a million questions, but
please
you know
fire
me, because
away.
like it's all new to me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I hear stuff and I'm like, wait, what does that mean? What does that mean? But overall, no, I think I got the gist of it, and like it's actually like pretty cool. I was gonna ask how many amps you guys own though, because you said you had a bunch of amps in your apartment.
Oh yeah, like total. I think there's like at least 7 or so at my
Okay.
apartment right now. Not counting maybe if 1 or 2 extras lying around at friends' houses that I've lent them and never got back. So there's a handful out there, maybe
I
6
would
or
guess
7.
around 7 for you. What
Yeah.
about you, Myles?
You've got me beat, Justin. I've only got 3 right now.
Okay.
No, but
Yeah.
I bet you it's like 3 solid ones, and that's all you need, right?
I think so. Yes.
Hell yeah.
I think there's.
See, you're a smarter man than I. I have way too many amps.
I would have more amps if I could. but,
Yeah.
I don't have the space. You know how it is.
Once again, Luis, your guitar journey is just starting as a new guitar player, so you'll get there soon too.
For sure, yeah. I'm analyzing everybody. I'm like, what's their setups looking like? And,
Yeah. You'll have
gotta know what the future looks like.
Yeah, exactly. And how empty your wallet's going to be after you get all this sweet gear.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God, Myles, anything else you wanted to say about the amps or anything like that?
Just that I'm super excited to have them on board, and just as a reminder, you can get them with the zZounds payment plans, and
Absolutely. So check them out on zZounds, guys. We got them all for sale there. Just check out ENGL Amps. And then, Myles, I'm sure we'll see you on one of our future episodes. He's our brand new guitar merchandiser, so he's going to be popping on saying hey as one of our co-hosts. So once again, Myles, really appreciate it for talking about ENGL with us.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
thanks for having me.
It is giveaway time, and we have what for a giveaway?
We're giving away a pair of Focal Clear MG Professional headphones. Super sick headphones. They go for $1,500. You could go on our website. All you need is an email to sign up. And you could win this pair of amazing headphones.
Amazing. Yeah, guys, please do sign up for that. Go to zZounds.com/giveaway, and you will see the link there. They are for a giveaway right now. We've got another segment that we filmed actually last week with Alex Chadwick from PRS. He was talking about the PRS NF3, their brand new model that they have. So we're going to go pop over to check out our jam and our interview with him, which was very special. He's a really great guy. So do stick around while we pop over to that interview. All right, guys, we have a very special guest with us on the show. We have Mr. Alex Chadwick.
Hello, everyone.
Alex, you are the key accounts manager for PRS Guitars, right?
That's right. Paul Reed Smith Guitar. I started doing this job in roughly last May, actually. So I'm still pretty fresh.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. How do you like it so far?
I love it. It's a great company. I love the gear. People are wonderful. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Absolutely. I know you're holding a kind of special new guitar that we have there, and we'll get to that in a bit. But before we get to that bad boy, which, by the way, is the PRS SE NF3, it's a brand new guitar they have, let's talk about you and your kind of history with the company. And Luis, if you want to chime in with any questions right now ahead of time, too. Before
Sure. I always like to know where people got started. So how'd you get started into guitar music? Like, where'd that all come about?
Sure. Yeah. So that I come by it naturally. When I was a kid, my dad owned a music store. We moved from Indiana to St. Charles, Illinois, and my dad bought Roselle Music from the previous owner, Lyle Gilman. He'd owned it since I think the late 50s, early 60s. So the place had been there forever. And if you go to Roselle, the building is still there, original sign and everything. It's still up.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. I started doing work there unofficially when I was a kid, cleaning toilets and, doing the landscaping and, whatever,
For sure.
12-year-old does. But it was filled with guitars and musicians, and it had a basement full of music history because it'd been there for decades. And so this would have been the early 90s. So that was like my first exposure. Everything in my life was music. I was always around guitars, would always go visit my dad. It was everywhere. There were guitars in my home since as long as I can remember. And he got out of that business around 2000 or so, and I kept going, and I worked for 3 other independent music retailers after that, in sales and management, and played in bands, and I landed in 2010 at the Chicago Music Exchange, which I found that job from a Craigslist ad of all places.
Yes, the days of Craigslist. Yeah.
I don't know that you can really do that the same way anymore.
That's actually how I started at zZounds too, through a Craigslist.
Was it really?
No way, really?
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There are still good things on Craigslist, or there were.
Yeah, there were. This was a while back, but
So that's how you got the CME gig?
That's how I got the CME gig. Yeah,
Okay.
I was aware that it existed. I'd heard good things. I worked at a music store in Bloomington, Illinois, for a number of years, and like I remember talking with the guys there, thinking like, "Oh my God, the Chicago Music Exchange is the greatest place in the world." And it had just moved on into the current location. Not too long before that, they had posted up pictures of the renovation. I was like, "Wow, this place is special."
So like what, like 2009, 2010, somewhere around there?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
February of 2010 was officially my start.
Awesome.
It was an amazing crew. It was an amazing place to be. I ended up there for 12 years. Went into management. I was a sales manager. I was a general manager for a number of years.
Okay.
And that changed my life. It was a wonderful place. And
right.
That's where I met Paul, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
When he came, what did he do? Like a little clinic or something there?
Yep. So the gentleman who was the regional sales manager at the time, his name's Ron Barry. He was a wonderful rep. I don't know if you ever had a chance to meet him, but oh man, what a genuine and wonderful human being.
Okay.
But he was my entry point to the PRS as a company, right?
Cool.
It just wasn't on my radar before. I was a Fender guy. I was playing Strats and whatnot. I thought was the coolest thing in the world. PRS for me was just like so out of reach. It just wasn't even on my. I didn't think I was on the same playing field.
Like a quintessential high end guitar.
Yeah,
that
like
kind of thing.
Unobtainium kind. Just
Yeah.
anywhere I tended to be in more kind of blue collar music scenes, and the most expensive thing would have been like an American Strat, right? And that was like the coolest thing in the world. And it still is. That's still a cool guitar. But, I knew exactly one person who had a Paul Reed Smith guitar, and I thought it was amazing. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. I can never afford something like that. But this was, 20 something years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So I met Paul at a clinic through Ron. He brought him in and introduced us, and we just hit it off, started talking pedals and gear. And I realized, this is a really wonderful, genuine human being who is like super obsessed with music gear. And that was his thing. If you talk to Paul, he'll give you a deep dive on whatever you're going on about. I mean, down to like the molecular level.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
We were just talking about that before we started recording, was like, my experience with going to the factory almost 10 years ago was that every single person there could just talk gear. No matter who you ran into in the halls there, everybody was just so willing to talk gear there. So that's the culture for it at PRS, I'm thinking, right?
It definitely is. Yeah, that's a huge part of the culture there. I mean, it's so much fun when you walk into the factory. I mean, everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a welcoming, warm environment. But at the same time, it is an obsessive attention to detail. I mean, down to like how we dry the woods and how we, cut our neck pockets. And there was a couple of videos that they just released this past week. I had nothing to do with them, but I watched them about, how we carve our headstock angles and do the neck work and the fret work. And it's just, it's impressive as hell to watch those guys do that, and just to see how many levels of attention to detail there are to just everything. Every little things you'd never ever think about. Watch. I mean, it's a 20-minute video on just the most minute things. It's wonderful. It's great.
I love that.
That's cool. That's cool.
So how'd it go from? So you met Paul, and then how'd you end up at PRS from there?
Oh, that's it. I just met Paul, and then
It's just like, come on board. And,
Yeah. You know what? Hire this man.
No, there were a few steps. I think I met Paul probably around 2015 or so.
Okay.
And we've had a really good relationship, texting and calling and just like checking in on gear, and we'd hang out, and I've gone to shows with them. And
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
No,
it's
that's
super
like
cool.
actually pretty close, it seems. Yeah.
yeah. No, he's a really, there's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Paul's a good guy.
Yeah.
I 2020, obviously, the pandemic and things changed really substantially in the music scene, and I think that affected everybody in all sorts of different ways. And by 22, I was just ready to move on, and I just needed to try something different. And I got in a completely different industry for about a year, just to try something different. And I hated it. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't me,
Like a detour. A detour, so to speak. Yeah,
it wasn't bad. The people were great, but it was. I'm sure you guys get this. You get that pull back to music.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
Can I ask what industry you went into?
Yeah, it was commercial
pornography.
Roofing. Shh, I told you not to talk about that. First of all, there's a paywall.
Check the link in the description.
No. No, it was commercial flat roofing.
So I guess that's a good segue then to this snazzy guitar you got right there. That's the newest offering from PRS, right?
This is the newest guitar that we've released. It just came out. This is the SE NF3. I'm gonna hit it some more times with my ring so there's lots of dents in it. This is a really cool piece. It kind of came as a natural evolution from some models that we'd had a number of years back. There was not core, but a US made NF3 for a few years, and kind of I don't know if it. I don't think it came out at the wrong time. I think it just didn't connect the way we wanted it to connect. And it's funny if you hop on like Reddit or the forums or whatever, there are pages dedicated to like OG NF3 love. Like people like that guitar.
Cool.
Probably not enough people, but now there's an SE version of it that's a lot more attainable for people. It's not it's not super expensive. It's less than a lot of major models. I don't want to name. I don't know what the rules are. I'm not going to name names.
You're good.
Okay,
You're
cool.
good.
Yeah, you're good. Say whatever you want. You're good.
Yeah. No holds barred.
All right. Well, I'm it's it's in a player's price point. Okay. I would say. Let's put it that way. Which makes it a lot more appealing, I think, to a lot of players. Cool. And it scratches an itch that we haven't really been able to scratch, which is to do a Strat style guitar that is hum canceling and is like kind of a really beefy sort of flavor to it.
Speaking of some of the features on there, this guitar has something in common with Chicago food. Is that right?
That is, it's not intentional, but it's right. Yeah. So the pickups are narrow field pickups, but these are the narrow field DDS, and DD stands for deep dish.
Okay. Are you a deep dish or a cracker crust guy?
I'll go thin crust, not quite cracker. But,
okay.
I'm a thin crust guy, unless it's Art of Pizza. I'll do thick crusted Art.
Art of Pizza.
All right.
Or Pequods.
Yeah. I literally just had that like 3 days ago.
Oh, man.
Pequods is good.
That's my go-to. People
Pequods
are like,
is real good.
I feel like if you're going to do deep dish, do Pequods.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just depends.
But I love Art of Pizza too.
Art of Pizza is outstanding. Panino's that's my favorite, and there's one real close to where I live, so they get a lot of my money.
Nice. Well, sorry to knock you off track.
Oh, right. Guitars.
I'm just hungry is all. But back to the guitar.
Right. So these are the narrow field DDS pickups. So if you took the pick guard off, you'll see that the bobbin actually goes a lot deeper than you'd expect underneath the guard, and it's to accommodate more winds and more magnets, and it's not necessarily to give it more output. It's just to give it a specific character, and that is just this really fat, flavorful tonality. It's meant to sound like a single coil, but without that really shrill top end and with a little more meat to it, those are two things that are really hard to get out of a single coil.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these kind of are like kind of brothers there in that this was also kind of a Strat style guitar that you guys did in the past, but I love that you guys kind of updated that. Because sometimes that could be the limitation. It's just a single coil that just sounds a little anemic. So I like that you guys are kind of addressing that. So.
That's very much the idea. Yeah, and not that those sound anemic. And those are the 635 JM pickups, which are
oh God, not these. I like these. Yeah, this was mine. Yeah. Clutching this man. Yeah.
They're really nice. In terms of like single coil pickups, those are I think those are some of the best out there for that platform. It's just a different vibe,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what else about this guitar is kind of a new feature there?
Well, that's the pickups are really the new hotness, right?
Cool.
We've never used the narrow field pickups in an SE platform. That's a huge deal for us.
Cool. Okay.
So that's the big thing. I mean, you've got a 5-way selector the same way you would on a Strat, so you can get all the kind of classic flavors out of it.
Those in betweens.
Yeah. Aside from the deep dish pickups, I'm gonna keep calling them deep dish just because
You guys getting hungry? No.
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, there's some body contours on this that we haven't really done before. If you notice, there's like a kind of a little a bevel almost up at the top horn. That's really cool. I mean, it's our classic PRS cutaway on the other side, but I think those mirror each other really well.
Nice.
And that is aesthetic on the top horn. But if you, I don't know, if you're I can hand it to you at the moment, but it's comfortable in a way that you wouldn't necessarily expect, and it's going to have a little bit of a different feel than like a Silver Sky or a Strat or something in that world, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Kind of one of the standout features we were talking about was that board just feels nice and fast. So
it's a wide, thin neck,
which is.
I'm sorry?
I love that feel.
I know,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's super comfortable, and it's almost jarring going from something that has that much substance to it.
Yep.
But that's because the Silver Sky is really aiming for a very specific feel, which is almost 180 degrees different from the NF3.
I'd say so. But hey, options. Love me some options.
Well, that's right. If every flavor was chocolate, you'd get sick of it pretty quick.
For sure.
And this comes in, is it 4 colorways, am I right?
4 colors. Yep. That's the metallic orange. We're doing an ice blue metallic, polar white, and gunmetal gray.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, this is nice. It's like a nice subtle metallic finish too. I don't know that's translating on the cameras, but it looks awesome. So
yeah, if you get up close to it, it's a really fine flake. But the guys in Cortec who build these for us, they do such an outstanding job. And if you look at the back of really any of our SE pickups, SE headstocks, it has the maker right there. We want them to be proud about what they're building. We think
Awesome.
they're doing an outstanding job. I mean, that's
cool.
Yeah.
yeah, that's legit. The new PRS SE NF3 is available at zZounds. The PRS SE NF3 features a poplar body, 22 fret bolt-on maple neck, and the choice of either a rosewood or maple fretboard. With 3 narrow-field DD-S pickups and anchored by a PRS patented tremolo, this guitar can bend and flutter with ease. Grab one today at zZounds.
Yeah, so we're going to listen to the guitar there, and then we're going to be playing it through this beautiful amp over here. What do we have over here?
Yeah, so that is our newest amplifier. That's the DGT 15. DG stands for Dave Grissom. This is the second time that we've worked with Dave. We have a DG Custom. That's a 30-watt platform that he's been using for a number of years. This is basically a scaled-back version of that. So it's 15 watts. It's EL84s. Has a very specific tonality to it, and you can get anything from like really clean jazz chords on it to pretty complex saturation. It's not going to do death metal, but it'll cover a lot of ground in between. And it actually, even in that size, does have a spring tank and a power tube bias tremolo. Always trips me up to say that, but it's all analog.
Very cool.
Yeah, and that tremolo on that is really special. I mean, it's almost harmonic. It sounds pretty amazing. Very Univibe-esque.
Nice.
Awesome. And so you said that David Grissom, you guys did an amp with him before, right? A different version of this.
Yeah, so the DG Custom is, if you see the maple faceplate that's on that cab there, it's that level. It's got the maple plate, and it's hand wired in the in our factory in Maryland. It's a high-end amplifier. It's very, very nice.
Okay.
This is a lot more aimed at like a player. Somebody who's, going to head out to bar gigs or recording at home or just, something a little more attainable, right?
For sure. And 15 watts, eh?
Exactly.
Okay.
Especially somewhere like Chicago, 30 watts might be pushing it for some of the venues. I've played places, I'm sure you two have as well, where, even 15 watts you get asked to turn down. So.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. And there's a master on it, you can drive it, but it sounds best when you can open it up, and 15 watts is a real sweet spot for that kind of thing.
For sure. Speaking of that, there was a kind of unique setup with the boost, right? In the kind of the master volume, and how they had these those mini switches you see over there.
Yeah, so there are 4 mini switches on the front of that amp, and the one furthest to the left controls how the boost works with the foot switch. And I might get this wrong because it's complicated. So, reference the user manual, I guess. But effectively, it's a 3-way switch, and you can tie the boost to the foot switch so that the master is only engaging when the boost is on. So the intention would be that normally you can play it with the master, you can control your drive a little differently, and then you've got the boost, and then that brings the volume down.
Okay. Almost like a 2-channel kind of setup there.
It's very much the intention is to give it the flexibility of a 2-channel amp without actually having the physical space that 2 channels will take up.
Love that. And I love that it's foot switchable too. And then we get the reverb and trem foot switchable as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Both of those are foot switchable. It's a lot going on under the hood.
Honestly, yeah. Like what? There's a tank in there, a reverb tank.
Yep.
That's so funny. That's incredible.
Yeah, and our amp designer, Doug Sewell, he put out a really nice video with, or we put out a nice video with him and David Grissom when this launched, talking about the process and the intention behind the amp and kind of the story behind it. It's really good. I mean, it's probably 10 or 15 minutes, but it's worth watching.
Awesome.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, guys, stick around. Me and Alex are going to jam a little bit on these two guitars, this amp, and we got an orange OR30 amp with a 212 as well in the other room that you can't see, but we will be jamming on that in just a little bit. So, Alex, any last words on these products before we get to it?
They're really great. You should buy them.
Love it. That was the snappiest.
Amazing.
Yes, hell yes, yeah.
Salesmanship.
Sales is sales.
Love it. Love it. You'll love it too. So, guys, do stick around, and we're going to break here to plug in, and we'll be right back with the jam. All right, everybody, we are back, and we have our guitars in hand. We're going to do a quick jam for you guys featuring the new PRS SE NF3. That's what I will be playing over here. Brand new guitar from PRS. I'm going through a Walrus Audio Fundamental Reverb and a Soldano Super Lead Overdrive pedal into a orange OR30 head with a 212 cab. And Alex, what are you playing over there?
I am playing a Rosewood Neck Silver Sky. I'm sorry, Rosewood Fretboard Silver Sky through our new PRS DGT 15 amp and a PRS 212 cab.
Awesome. All right, let's do this, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very cool, man. Very cool. All right, man. Thanks for indulging me in a jam there. That was absolutely sick.
Yeah, it sounded great.
Thank you for having me. You sounded amazing.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
What did you think of the guitar?
This thing is awesome. We were talking about this before we were filming today too, and I got to put my hands on it for a little bit. And it is just a quick guitar. The fretboard's flat. It was 10-inch radius, you said?
It's a 10-inch, yeah.
Absolutely speedy. It was just just super comfortable to just kind of glide across this thing. And the pickups, really love the sound of the pickups. You said they were voiced kind of differently than how they usually do, right?
Yeah, so those are very much voiced to be kind of like a classic single coil output, but without that kind of shrill high end cut to it, and a little more bottom end, and so you end up with a pretty smooth tone.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys heard that earlier. I mean, I absolutely loved the drive pedal through that. Yeah, absolutely not harsh at all. So digging it. Just really fast. I also like that kind of satin finish on it. Been digging that, and just it's light. I don't know. I like how it looks. It kind of belies the tone though. The look of it. We were talking about how it's it looks like almost like a shredder guitar, but absolutely the tones you can get out of it are not just that. It's not like a high output pickup where it only does one thing and it has to be all volume knob on 10, to get it to sound right. The roll off on the Orange OR30, we were playing the roll off with the volume taper and everything was great too. So I was a big fan of this and it just looks cool. So I actually liked it. So, oops. And I just resale value plunged right there after I hit the microphone. No, this thing's awesome though. I'm so glad that I got to play it. And you said that just came out very recently?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago. Yeah, this is very new. These things have sold like crazy, so I don't know that there's many out in the world right now that are available to get your hands on, but you've got one.
Yeah, for sure. Luis, got anything else you want to ask Alex over here?
No, I just think it looks great, and I appreciate you coming on and giving us all the details on it. It's super cool. It's super cool listening to you two jam, so I hope you had a good time.
Oh, man. You know what? I can't thank you guys enough for bringing me out here. This has been so much fun. The jam was fun. You guys are great. This has been awesome.
Good hang, Alex. I'm so glad you got to play with us, too. Like I said, it's a treat to get a jam, and thanks for just showing us what you've been up to at PRS there with this guy. So, guys, check out the website. Check out zZounds.com for the PRS SE NF3 as well as the PRS DGT 15 amp. And actually, might as well do a shout out to that Silver Sky guitar as well. Check out those as well. And again, Alex, this is Alex Chadwick from PRS, and thank you so much for coming on with us, man.
Thank you.
The new PRS DGT 15 is available at zZounds. The PRS DGT 15 is a vintage voiced single-channel amplifier with plenty of punch for a 15-watt design. Built in collaboration with guitarist and longtime PRS artist David Grissom, the PRS DGT 15 is rich with character and offers several highly functional tone sculpting features, including a 3-band tone stack, a 3-position bright switch, boost, reverb, top cut, and presence controls. Grab one today at zZounds.
That was a pretty sick jam with Alex.
Yeah, for sure. He's great job on it.
Thank you. He's such a great guy, and he's actually an excellent guitar player. So very, very sick. But anyways, I just wanted to thank Alex for coming, and also you, Myles. I'm so glad that you're on the show now as one of our co-hosts. So this will be really sick to talk about some more gear later when it comes up.
Absolutely.
And then, any final thoughts here? Are we...
No, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Myles.
My God. Thanks so much, guys. This has been GearWire. And once again, this is our show about all things gear. I am your host, Justin.
I'm Luis.
I'm Myles.
We'll see you next time.
GearWire is produced by zZounds, the online music store that gets you gear fast, with free shipping on every order. Check out zZounds today to find the gear featured in this episode and more.